this is a 100% a replay from that session. Possibly even the 25-20 replay. How about we'll just go ahead and say that it is, so that it's more clickbait. But yeah, let's get into this game. It is Arsenal and Roldays against Taroko and Talibird. So everybody in this lobby insanely high rated in twos. Arsenal is the highest rated player in twos. It looks like to start off, it's just a simple kick-off goal. Roldays finishing it off. And you expect to see almost everybody in high rated lobbies cheating from the backfield in 2v2. Almost everybody. It is the preferred strategy compared to boost grabs. So that was a somewhat safe 50-50, but I don't think Arsenal thought through what was happening afterwards. So although he played it away from one player, it did not get away from the second one. 1-1 already. Semi-slow cheat from Arsenal as he backs off. We are going to watch this game from his POV, of course, even though it's a 2v2. Oh, okay, so nice bump by Talibird there. Even though Arsenal got the ball past him, it was really important that he bumped Arsenal out of the air dribble. Flip reset attempt from Taroko. Arsenal's going to wait it out and get the save. Pre-flip control from Roldays. Now Arsenal's going to try and get a couple 50-50 wins. Gets one. Taroko's past him though. And top corners the finish. Inside a minute we've got a 2-1 lead for the TT team. Let's see if they can turn that into a win. I wonder if they will. Yeah, one of the most important things about climbing at this rating is no tilt allowed. And I can tell you that from watching Fairy Peak, watching Alpha, K-Dop climb way up to the top of the twos leaderboard in their streams, they only get there when they're, just absolutely full focus and no tilt. There's never any scoreline in 2v2 that you can't come back from if it's an early game score. If there's 1 minute gone and you're trailing by 5 goals, winnable. You have to think that it's winnable. You have to play like it's winnable, or else you are not going to be able to climb up to the rating that you otherwise could get to. Obviously, if it's late in the game, 1 minute to go and you're 4 down, that is far less likely. Good defense from Arsenal here. Under a lot of pressure, but he does well in the 1v2. And what you saw there from Arsenal was just a half flip out of an aerial attempt. As soon as he realized that he was getting beaten to the ball, he half flipped away from it. That's good power though, good placement. As Roldays clears it down the middle. Arsenal attacks it earlier on. How is this a 2500? Looks like Diamond 2, Div 3 at best. Is this Arsenal's 2500 game? I don't actually know the exact rating of this game, but what I can tell you is it's from the session that he grinded to 25-20 on. So whether or not it's the 25-20 game or the 25-something game, doesn't matter so much. This is from the session that he got to the highest rating that I've ever seen in 2v2. That's for sure. Yeah, he's just chilling out at 25-20 now. I think he's just waiting to see if anyone else will catch up. Maybe not. Maybe he's just taking a break before Grid tomorrow and before RLCSX in the weekend. There's a lot of competitive Rocket League coming in for Arsenal, Sipical and Rettles. I believe that when Sipical, who got 2500 before him, when he did that, I think Rettles might have also been top 10. Weren't they all top 10 at the time? That's not quite good enough from Talibird there. Weak shot, also missing the target. No real threat, obviously. And you'll see Arsenal initially there, as soon as he recovered from inside the goal, the first thing that he did was play straight for the ball. Now, there's been a couple of memes going around on Twitter recently discussing which way you're supposed to rotate. And I can guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, that if you're at the game and the other team have the ball in 2v2, the play is 99.9% of the time to ball chase. And I'm not saying that as a joke, this is just factual. You're allowed to have your differing opinion if you want, but that doesn't make it any more correct. Careful play from Arsenal there. I'm surprised that he didn't go for that rebound actually, because it didn't look like an easy read for... Well, it didn't look like an easy clear for the blue team. But yeah, whenever there's a risky 50-50 about to go down, his first instinct is always to turn around. There we go again. He's just ready to back off. Fake challenge Followed up by a real one when Taroko gives him an opportunity to close the distance. It's being played out very, very intelligently by Arsenal. Almost instantaneous recoveries every single time that he is out of the game. Close game though, very, very close game. I'm sure many of them were when he was on that climb to the highest rating that we have ever seen in twos. I believe it's the highest rating we've ever seen in twos. If somebody has a screenshot of a higher rating, then please do send it to me. But this is where it gets very scary. One goal now is almost definitely the game winner unless you concede a kickoff goal immediately afterwards. So both teams are posturing extremely defensively. It's a great transition from Talibird. Caught Taroko's soft clear and flicked it way into the other half. Roldes just wants a good 50-50 now. Arsenal playing more aggressively since we're in that 0-second kind of time frame. He knows it's almost impossible for the other team to carry the ball from that position all the way down the field, or at least it's extremely difficult to do that without the ball bouncing on the ground. So he's allowed to be a bit more aggressive. You can always do that in Rocket League. On 0-second plays, you're allowed to be a bit more aggressive, unless you're, you know, third man in 2v2. Then you might be asking third man in 3v3. If you're third man in 2v2, you're hacking. Arsenal could have probably won the game there with a big bump onto the goalkeeper. Nice half flip pass to Roldes though. It's 50-50 into the middle, and that's not a good clear. Arsenal reads it, and that's game. And that is how you get the highest rating in 2v2 that we have ever seen. And it wasn't super flashy. It wasn't insanely, mechanical. It was just extremely consistent. It was extremely safe, and it was extremely solid, patient. Any you go on thesaurus.com, any synonyms for these words, that's what you're going to get. So starting off the game, we saw the double cheat from both players, or from both teams. Arsenal does win the kickoff though, and now Taroko, he's the player who has the biggest decision in this play. Does he go up for this or not? Because he sees the ball is bouncing towards him, but he also has to make a decision in the moment. Okay, did I cheat close enough for this to be a viable ball for me to go for? He decides it is, and it turns out not to be. It was a bit over his head. Roldes, similar sort of thing happens here. He just has to go. He's thinking, well, it's a bit further away from me than it is Taroko, but it might be awkward for him. Just got to go for it, because you're that far up anyway. You're so far committed, you might as well go. And they get an opening goal almost immediately, but it didn't take long for the blue team to fight back. And it was maybe a bit of a careless play. I'd say one of the most careless plays from Roldes and Arsenal of the whole game, actually. So Roldes doesn't want Taroko to be able to start an easy dribble here. You might be wondering, what is Roldes doing in this play? Because he kind of just pulls up right underneath the play, and he doesn't flip into the ball. He doesn't really challenge it. He's just driving underneath the ball here. And the whole purpose of this is he doesn't want Taroko to be able to catch the ball and start a dribble. He's just messing with Taroko's landing. And then, you just, kind of rotating out, kind of bumping Talibird afterwards. So in this position, it would have made a lot more sense for Arsenal maybe to fake a challenge. Because, he saw the contact there. I don't think he played it incredibly riskily. Funnily enough, if Taroko didn't whiff, this would have been fine, I think, for Arsenal. This would have been okay. Taroko just whiffs. He double jumps by mistake. So, actually, instead of a 50-50, we get Arsenal passing the ball to Talibird, which is unintentional, of course, and not at all what Taroko meant to happen in this play. He's trying to 50-50 the ball, which would have caused it probably to roll into the corner. So, with that being said, I think Arsenal's play is pretty fine. It's pretty okay. But yeah, Taroko just, I think, missed the ball. And that's what's caused. Yeah, definitely just missed this one. And it's actually invited Talibird to be first in on the play, who has scored a goal. But yeah, well, let's go to the next goal. This is a really good shot by Taroko, actually. Now, how long before this did blue team get a boost advantage? Let's take a look. So we saw Arsenal stuck in a 1v2 defensive play. That is a very inviting ball. Taroko goes up for it. Arsenal able to knock it into the corner. Now, Roldes is already in the corner. He just landed from a failed challenge. So Arsenal has to defend the goal in this play. He needs to cover the shot. And I think this might be a mistake. In fact, diving into the corner like this could be a misplay. Now, it's kind of like just a high risk, high reward play, because if Arsenal gets a good 50-50 now with Taroko, if he can recover really quickly from the first challenge and 50-50 this ball, it might just go in. It might be something he can follow up with and score. But Arsenal does know that Roldes is going to be probably out of boost or low on boost and in an awkward position because of this. Because we see Roldes in the corner using some boosts to get back. Yeah, he's on 18 boosts, so Arsenal has to make contact there. Great shot though by Taroko, well done. And I actually like the first touch even more. This is what makes this possible. It's tempting in this position to just hit the ball kind of straight forward into the corner because your brain is telling you, hey buddy, remember all those angles that you learned when you were in high school? Yeah, see if you bounce the ball off this wall, it's going to go into the middle and then you can score a goal. Really cool idea, right? No, wrong. Don't do that because that's exactly what Arsenal thinks you're going to do. Instead, you got to go around the challenge. Don't get dunked on. Huge part of 2v2 is just not getting dunked on. So Taroko does everything he can to play the ball as high as possible and also as far to the right as he can. Because the more to the right and the higher he hits this ball on his touch, the less likely it is Arsenal's going to make contact. If Arsenal touches this ball at all in this challenge, it's probably a goal for Orange Team. So remember that, don't get dunked on. It's a huge part of 2v2 is not getting dunked on in those positions. That was a good save by Talibird on the double cheek kickoff again. Arsenal eager to get back into the play, actually misses the boost, but Roldes forces Talibird to almost make the same save twice. Let's go on to the next goal and see how this happened. So you probably remember me mentioning this in the game. Arsenal was thinking about shooting this ball, but he realizes he's being beaten to it, so he just half flips out of the aerial. This is something you'll see pro players do a lot. When they realize they're getting beaten to the ball, they don't do what a lot of players do in ranked and, float off into the general direction that they committed to. Like, how often would you see someone in ranked in these positions? They jump up for the ball and then they realize they're getting beaten to it. So instead of half flipping out of it, they just kind of float off into the midfield and they land somewhere like here. Then they're like, man, I got beaten to the ball. I better go back into defense. It's a really common play that I see in replay reviews that I do. People realize they're getting beaten and they kind of just freeze up. Their car just kind of floats forward and lands somewhere ahead of them. But these players know how to half flip. These same players will be half flipping at other stages of the game. So when you realize you're getting beaten but you've still got your flip, just half flip. Just do what you do when you half flip. You've done your jump. Now just backflip and cancel the flip halfway through, air roll out of it, boom, you're back in the game. This is a really, really important thing. So yeah, don't freeze up. Is basically all it is. Now this is good defense by Arsenal and Roldes, but it was definitely careless for Taroko and Talibird. Did they just get spawned on, by the way? I think they did. That's quite funny. Oh, I didn't realize that happened in the game. That's hilarious. Look at Roldes in this play. That is so brilliant. Just gets demoed. And then he's like, oh cool, the ball, nice. Let's just smack that out into the middle and then they've scored. Oh, that's amazing. Now, there's been a lot of discussion in the Rocket League community about ways to make that less random. Because this is, as far as I know, the only randomness in Rocket League is which side of the field you spawn on. There we go, we spawned on the right side. Incredible. Let's counterattack. If Roldes spawned on the left, then Taroko would be next up on the play. So it was a good, really good pass by Roldes, to be honest, to pop it up right into the middle where Arsenal can chase and win the race to the ball. Great touch, but it is a bit of an RNG victory there for Arsenal and Roldes, no denying it. Some of the ideas I've heard to fix that element of randomness in Rocket League, one of them is to let players choose which side they spawn on after getting demoed. What do you guys think about that one? Type 1 in chat if you would like that. You get to basically like choose left or right and if you don't pick one, it would be random. So I don't know how that would work, but after you get demoed, maybe there's like two big buttons left and right appear on your screen. If you press left on your controller or your keyboard, you spawn on the left. If you press right, you spawn on the right. That'd be pretty cool. There's been other ones just suggesting that the side you're going to spawn on, your camera moves there ahead of time. Before you spawn, your camera is just in that position, and you can maybe just count it that you see a 3, 2, 1 for when your car is going to appear. There's also ideas of doing either of those things, and also having like the shape of a car appear before your car actually appears there, so that everyone in the game knows you're going to spawn on that side, not just you. I kind of like that idea. So maybe you get to pick which side you're on, and as soon as you've chosen, a ghost of your car appears in that position. And when the time comes, when the countdown for that demo is over, you appear and the camera's already in that position. I think it could be cool. But yeah, you would you would definitely have to test that one out. You never know how these are going to play until you actually do them. So let's see this save. Oh, apparently this was just total whiff from Talibird. Now, is Arsenal trying to double touch this? I wouldn't put it past him for trying to flip, reset, double this. Even though it's a ridiculously difficult angle. Good defense from Talibird. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and skip to the end of the game here. That's the last notification that we've got. We'll watch the overtime one more time. Talk about what's happening. So we saw a similar kickoff in every single iteration. Both teams having a cheating player. Both teams going for a big kickoff win. Rold is doing something pretty smart there, just using the ceiling to help himself clear the ball. The key here is, in a lot of these positions, a player, the biggest thing that people will get wrong in this position is that they just flip into the ball because they're thinking, well, I'm near the wall, maybe if I flip into this it'll go really far. They flip into the ball and then it just kind of drops straight down into this kind of area and the other team can shoot. So actually the key in back corner defense when you're coming off the wall from a high angle is often to just stay close to the ball, whether it's coming off the ceiling like this or from jumping off the wall. You just want to keep yourself close to the ball because that way the other team have to at least win a 50-50 with you. Did I see Kid up 115 games in a row in solo 2s? No, I didn't because I was streaming. So let's watch Rolda's POV on this play. Let's see. So yeah, maybe going for the shot there. I think he's probably playing for the pass. Arsenal's just hanging about in the area, waiting to see what's going to happen. Nice little back pass. And yeah, just panic from Talibird. He's on no boost. He tries to pre-flip. He didn't. The mistake here from Talibird is that he doesn't check, or she doesn't check where the follow-up is coming from. Sees Arsenal going off to the halfway line, and commits to the pre-flip before seeing how close Arsenal is to the play. So the idea here would probably be to look to the right here, see where Arsenal is, because obviously if Arsenal is really close and he's going to shoot the ball now, like at this moment, yeah, you have to pre-flip and knock it away from him. But if he's over here, if he's way back, you don't really want to be going for the pre-flip here. So Arsenal did well. He noticed the pre-flip from Talibird and just waited to see where that touch was going. You'll be able to do this in your own games, guys, as well. Just when the other team are clearing the ball across their own goal, often it'll be a bad clear, it'll be a weak touch, so you just gotta wait to see where the clear is and then be ready to pounce while they're recovering. You don't really need to think too much about where you're hitting it, because if they're mid-recovery, they're not going to be able to do anything, so Arsenal just smashes it on target. And yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you get 25-20 in 2s. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys go even further in 2v2, talking Arsenal Typical in particular. They seem to be the two with the most potential in the game mode by quite a long way. Since Fairy Peak and Alpha both threw away all their 2v2 rank points, EU is now being topped by Khaled and Monkey Moon. So, going to be difficult. Going to be really difficult for Khaled to close that gap on Arsenal and Typical, because you're already the highest rated on your server. Like, he's already the highest rate in his server, and they're still, I mean, what is that? 61 points ahead in Arsenal's case. Very, very difficult to get up there when you're already rank 1 in your server. It's easier to get to the 1800 mark in ones because he was, he's the highest rated in his server, but hey, he's at least he's also the highest rated worldwide at the same time. But yeah, I wonder what the peak will be for Arsenal Typical. I think the season's ending at the end of this month, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe that the season's ending at the end of the month. So there's still some time to see if they can maybe make a push for 2600. I think in 2v2 it's possible. It's definitely possible. Because you look at the range in 1v1. There's only 3 players within 100. No one, actually, on the same server really will be queuing up anywhere close. Whereas at least Arsenal Typical, they've got each other to steal points off. Like if Arsenal Typical both queue up, they're probably getting on opposite teams. Hey, one of them's climbing. One of them's climbing. He's not going for 2600. He's playing on a smart right now. Well, he's not going for 2600 right now, but maybe he will. Maybe he still might.